Snowball! Hey folks, I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
Welcome to the channel. We've noticed that there's an awful lot of new viewers that have joined us lately, and we thought that we'd just pour a cup of coffee and we'd have a little chat about what we're all about.
Yeah, and we thought it's time that we introduce ourselves, not just say who we are, but let you know why we're here and how we ended up on these 40 acres in the Ontario wilderness.
Interesting to note that this is our 10th year now on the property, and we've produced several hundred YouTube videos to help share what we're all about.
Several years ago, we were given the opportunity to move away from the city, and in our quest for freedom, we took it. And several years later, back in 2016, we bought this property and we built this tiny cabin, which is fully off-grid, and we live on our homestead, which is on this property as well.
We were really enjoying the quality of freedom that we experience here, but this lifestyle is not easy.
Yeah, you have to keep a balance though. It puts a lot of demand on you, but there's a lot of serenity as long as you remember to take it in. So Glenn, tell me, when we first moved here, how many weeks did you give me before you figure I'd be begging for a thermostat and a grocery store?
About a month at the tops. No, actually, look at us now though, right? But no, Maureen, I actually had complete faith in you that you would make that transition from the city life to the country life, and you'd live up to the challenges, which you did. I think we have done quite well, although we didn't know what the challenges were going to be at the time.
It was so exciting at the beginning, the freedom to do what we wanted, when we wanted. Then reality set in, that we're responsible for whether or not this lifestyle was going to work out for us.
Yeah, it's a simpler lifestyle, but it's not easy. It was up to us whether we just survived or thrived. We knew there would be plenty of challenges and lots of hard work along the way. There were some nights that we were working till 2 a.m. Well, I'm not going to lie, there were some nights that we worked until dawn. And we didn't want to become a slave to the chores. So we found we had to prioritize and, as Maureen said, find that balance. Got a question for you, Maureen. So how do we decide when to stop working and just sit back and enjoy a coffee?
Well, the one way is we learn to listen to our bodies. We need to know when to take a rest, and also we learn the seasons to be prepared as one season ended and the other one started. We've been here for 10 years. We've learned the cycle of the land, and we plan to stay here through our retirement for as long as we can live here.
We have found out that if you delay on certain chores and whatnot, when the season is about to turn, there is a short window of opportunity with which to get those things done. Otherwise, well, the season doesn't wait for you, and you end up missing out or paying for it in the long run.
Or you go hunting for the shovel in the deep snow.
Where'd that shovel go?
There's a moose. It's a bull.
For me personally, moving on to the land here, I felt an amazing sense of relief, a real sense of freedom. It was like the umbrella of rules and regulations and restrictions, bylaws had been lifted. We could live in the sunshine of our own choices. So not having that umbrella over me was a big part of the freedom. The other part of the equation was not having to get up at 4 a.m. for the early morning shift every morning, and because I had to. And hearing that alarm clock going off, not my style. And I'm a night owl. So I always had to get up before the crack of dawn. And for me at the time, yeah, that was a real struggle. I'd much prefer living the lifestyle I do now, being retired, not having to answer to that alarm clock. I can wake up at the crack of noon.
Ooh-wee, it's cold.
Or some nights I can stay up as late as I want and watch the sun come up. Or just rise early, and I've got the choice to do that. And that's what the freedom for me is all about.
It's not just about the cabin, it's about reclaiming our own time, getting back into sync with natural rhythms, like getting up early in the morning.
I like waking up early morning, and when there's a little bit of mist over the pond, you go down with a coffee and we sit back in our little chairs there and just, we don't even have to talk to each other. We just witness the early morning dawn and everything waking up. It's just beautiful. That's what our Cabin Life channel is all about. You get a glimpse into our lifestyle and you see how we do things a little differently around here. As a nature recordist, I enjoy taking my recording gear out and bring a lot of those soundscapes to you through our videos. So Maureen, when you look at the umbrella that is now disappeared, you think back to the old life. Is there one thing from that life that you think back and you say, wow, I'm so glad it's gone?
Well, there's a couple. The one is the alarm clock, not having to wake up before I feel ready to wake up. And the other one, the bylaws. Things like not being able to make noise or do things that we want to do after a certain hour.
Exactly, like my schedule now. I like sleeping till I'm done. In the old life, sleeping in till I'm done, well, that would have just been wrong or improper, unproductive. But here, it's just living. Being up to hear the early dawn wake up at 4 a.m., well, that's not a hobby. That's the whole point of being here. If I want to chop wood under a full moon at midnight, I can.
There's a certain peace to these late night hours. We get to experience the serenity that most people sleep through. My favorite is the full moon nights. They're breathless. So tell me, Glenn, you're talking about sleeping in until the crack of noon. Are you really sleeping in and enjoying the freedom? Or are you just staying in bed until I get those chores done?
Oh, wise guy, eh? Me.
Okay, so now in a little bit more seriousness, when you're sitting out here at 3 a.m. by yourself, do you feel like you're enclosed in this nice little cocoon while the world's sleeping? Or do you feel like you're part of an infinity?
Well, under the stars, it feels infinite. I feel small. And yet, surrounded by the forest, and out here by the fire, I do feel a sense of being in a little cocoon, just you and me. Like we're all alone, and the only ones out here. So my schedule might be a bit wild, but as long as we're out here together, I'm happy. Although, I do have to keep an eye on her when the bugs get thick. For many, this lifestyle is a dream, but for some, the dream ends the moment a mosquito lands on their arm. You know where I'm going with this, Maureen?
Oh, the city homesteader.
You may have seen me poking fun at Maureen over the last few videos, like in this clip here. The mosquitoes aren't bothering you too bad today, are they, Maureen?
Oh, no, not at all.
I wouldn't want you moving back to the big city.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, honey.
Here's the backstory on that. We once knew a lady who wanted this lifestyle. The forest, the cabin, the wilderness, or she thought she did. But after one afternoon of the Air Force coming in on her, you know, the mosquitoes, that was it. She packed her bags and back to the big city she went. I think that was the last we ever saw of her. So that's why I poke fun at Maureen about the mosquitoes. I gotta keep an eye on her. I don't want to have to worry about her packing her bags every time she hears a buzz. So we say it's a simpler lifestyle. But what's the one specific thing that turned into more of a circus or comedy of errors that we didn't expect? Like the time that, you know, chickens won the argument?
Yeah, you know, this idea that chickens are simple and easy to raise. How many times do we chase those chickens and those hens and go out and try to find them in the pricky bushes? Oh my gosh.
Oh, with a flashlight, where the chickens up in the trees, up in the branches. Come on, chicken. We got them in.
When you're out here in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. listening to the mystery of the woods, do you ever wonder if Sasquatch is out there watching you, wondering why you're at the fire again?
Well, I don't mind if he's out there, as long as he doesn't come and pull up a chair beside me and try to share my steak. Other than that, I don't mind. Ooh, look what I got. Look what I got. Come on.
In the 50 plus years that I've known you, whenever you've been out in the woods or on a hike or even in the cabin, and you viewers may have noticed this too, you always have a fire. It's like fire is like a ritual to you.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's our go-to place. It's where we can sit back, relax, unwind, and gaze into the flames. It's something that we do. It's our entertainment. It's our cabin television. It allows us to just sit back and contemplate, and it's a pathway to our dreams and to just contemplating about ourselves and about the world.
I just love sitting by the late night fire, listening to the sounds of the forest. I like taking my recording gear out, setting it up, and just see what sounds that we can capture. And sometimes it's pretty surprising, especially after I've gone in, let the recorder play, and then we review it later on. It can be pretty surprising. Maureen, what's the one thing that still surprises you after all these years of walking the land?
Every time we go for a hike or a walk, I always have a new story to tell about something I've seen, whether it's a frog or a deer calling for its mama or seeing a moose. There's always something new to tell a story about.
The other day she came back and she said, "Glenn, you won't believe it. There was a turtle and it was walking just up from the pond up to the cabin hill, made it to the cabin, made it onto the cabin trail." She followed it for I don't know how long, all the way down to the main road and to a creek that's across the road and on its way. And then what, a week later or so, we saw it again, only it came back.
The other way. Yeah.
Anyway, those are types of things that surprise her. It surprises me too when she tells about it. For me, the surprising things are sometimes when I'm walking very quietly out in the forest and suddenly, like earlier today, I swear, this happened to me earlier today. I was walking along the trail, nice and quiet as I could be, and all of a sudden a grouse flew out of the bush, flap, 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 flap. It kind of it did startle me. It was right beside me, so you kind of wait until you pass by. Anyway, yeah, there's always a surprise in store for us along the cabin trail and around the cabin. Good coffee.
Thanks. Now, how do we decide our to-do list? What things we need to do and what things that can wait so we can sit back and enjoy our coffee?
Well, I would say, priorities, right? There's the stuff that we should have done yesterday, so we'll have to try to get that done today, but usually we're so busy doing that stuff that we don't have time to do the stuff today that we wanted to do yesterday, so that means tomorrow we won't have time to get the stuff done today. It's just, we'll have a coffee.
You know, lately I've noticed that my days go so quick. And then, well, I think I figured it out. It's because it takes me so long to get anything done. Now, thinking of that, I wonder, with you doing all that wood chopping and all that heavy work, when you're finally done and you sit down for the day, does that make you feel older? Because it's like, oh, or does it make you feel younger? Because,
While I'm doing the task, chopping the wood, whatever, sometimes it makes me feel older because it seems like there's a long way to go before I can finish that task, right? But at other times, having finished the task, it actually makes me feel a little more young at heart as a result of having accomplished it. So, Maureen, when you're sitting out here by yourself in the quiet morning sun, enjoying a coffee, do you find that you're listening or contemplating What do you like to do?
Well, sometimes I'm listening, sometimes I'm watching, sometimes I'm contemplating life, and sometimes I'm just enjoying watching Jake out in the yard.
Jake, yeah, for a dog who's supposed to be our security guard, he sure likes to steal decorations off the Christmas tree and steal my glove.
Jake, no, Jake.
And then there's the mystery. Some people hear the growls or the thumping in the forest, and they want answers. But we don't have all the answers, honestly, and sometimes I kind of think that the mystery of it is kind of like it that way. But I think the serenity comes from knowing that all is as it should be, despite not knowing all the answers.
You know, sometimes when I hear a strange noise in the woods, I don't know whether to run and grab onto Glenn or run back to the cabin. Ouch! Seems like those mosquitoes are back.
Wait, what? Mosquitoes aren't bothering you, are they?
I don't want to have to be driving you back to the city tonight.
Oh, don't worry about that. I won't be going anywhere. Tell me, all those times that you've sat out here at night by the fire listening to the sounds of the forest, do you think it's letting you in on any of its secrets?
Yeah, I do feel like I'm being let in on a secret that most of the world is sleeping through. I love the feeling of serenity and just enjoying the night sounds. And I'd like to share some of those moments with you through my audio recordings, so stay tuned for those. So folks, welcome to the cabin. We're just two people enjoying our retirement and living by our own rules.
Yeah, we didn't come here to escape life. We came here to make certain life didn't escape us.
That's all for this one. We'll see you on the next one. I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
Over and out.
Take care. Yeah, and it's nice that now we're into the later part of the season. The mosquitoes aren't so bad anymore.
The mosquitoes aren't too bad for you, eh?
No.
Oh.
No, they haven't carried me away yet.
No, I wouldn't want them to bug you and have you move back to the city.
No.
Or something.